What's up, what's up, what's up? How y'all doing? Welcome to Mahogany Sweets. I want to get straight into this. This is about the WAP video, Cardi B's song, featuring Meg Thee Stallion. WAP stands for Wet Ass Pussy. And it has come under attack and getting backlash for the symbology of it, the representation of it, and the influence of it. And I agree. I agree with those who see a problem with it, and I'm going to tell you the problems that are with it, right? It's very problematic and toxic. A lot of the defense that people have been using is that sexual songs have always been out, and that sexual natured acts have always been out. And to me, that's not a good defense for it, because people had a problem with it back then too. That doesn't make it okay. Something that is common doesn't mean it's normal. Just because it has become common does not mean that it's okay and that it's normal. And we've gotten here today because people have tried to make it common and have pretty much made it common. But anyway, let me just get into this. The issue with this song and video is that it over-sexualizes women. More importantly, it over-sexualizes black and minority girls, teenage girls and women. The imagery and symbology in it is showcasing prostitution, right? This is not Cardi B's first song speaking about prostitution. The video was representation of a brothel with black women, girls, in those rooms. So they were being showcased as harlots, right? When we talk about representation in media, it's not about just us being there. It's about how we are presented while we are in those spaces, while we are being the representation for a whole group of people. And not just a whole group of people, but even a gender. Because in this case, we are talking about women, and we're talking about black women, minority women. The fight that feminists and women in general, black women, have been speaking about is us being respected, acknowledged, protected, valued, and being more than what's in between our legs. And we're constantly having women in positions of powers reduce us to just only what's between our legs. So I see a lot of hypocrisy and contradiction, and I'm not picking up understanding why we have women who are on one hand shouting, no, we should be protected, we need to be respected, we should be valued, and then on the other hand saying, yes, yes, show it all, bear it all, prostitute, use your body as a means to receive funds, to be used up by men, and then claiming feminism, when I thought the whole point of feminism was we are not reduced to what men want to make us, which is sex objects, sex toys. Why are we then reducing ourselves to sex objects and sex toys, and then supporting this bullshit when people come out to have a problem, issue with it? Now let's get further into it. Black women are more likely to be sexually assaulted. And not only are we more likely to be sexually assaulted, but we're more likely to be sexually assaulted and not be vindicated, receive justice from it, right? Discarded, as in, that is all you're good for. That's what, you're nothing more than that. Well, one of the reasons why that is taking place is because, number one, we're over-sexualizing ourselves. But number two, the world and the men and those around us are viewing black women that way too, since that is how we are being represented. And I want to specifically talk about the negative effect that this has on young black girls and young black teenagers, right? When you see through media, billboards, magazines, movies, TV shows, videos, yourself, when they see a black woman up there on the screen or whatever other form of media, they are connecting to that as that is who they are. That is who they will be. That is who they should be and show up in the world as a black woman. And then we act shocked and surprised and appalled, and we're pitting down young black teenage girls and even adolescents for being over sexualized. We want to demean them and say, you're fast, you're the problem, you're over sexualized, you're being promiscuous, you are a slut, a whore. And look at the representation. It's not them. They weren't born a slut, a whore, promiscuous, over sexualized. That is what's being imprinted on them, brainwashing to them to be, due to the imagery and representation that is being put forward before them. So, because I wanted to do this video, these women have been mothers. They were exposing their young daughters for sending nudes, sending twerking videos, wearing very promiscuous, revealing clothing, and they were shaming their daughters for this. And I was thinking, like, now one of y'all, first off, that's a whole nother set of problems. That's why I want to do a video on it. But I'm thinking, like, so not one of y'all are catching on and picking up that through what they're hearing and seeing, that is what's telling those little girls to be like that and do that. Because they're looking at, oh, this woman, this is role models, imagery, representation, example. No one is just born being a particular way. Through what's fed into them, taught to them, that is what they're going to show up as. So no one is looking at the fact that these are their role models. This is their representation. What you need to do is go and speak with them. Yes, I get that you see her and she looks like you. She seems to be successful. People seem to like her, adore her. She dresses and behaves and talks like this. But sweetheart, that's not what a woman is. That's not what you're summed up to be. There are other variations of womanhood, and that's not it. Here, let me let you know what it is. Yeah, that will get you some attention from boys because you are blossoming as a young woman. You're seeing different type of girls get attention, and you think that, oh, if I want to get my fair share, if I want to be pursued, if I want to get the boy I like, maybe I should dress and act like this, since this is what these women in the media are representing themselves as. This is what my peers are following after as well. Then I'm going to fall in suit. No, explain to her that's going to bring you the wrong type of attention, negative attention. Not to take any blame off men, but it also, young boys, is giving them the idea to look at women, their peers, other teenage girls, as right, just being sex objects that they can play with and do whatever they want with. And it is fueling this over sexualization that we are imprinting on young girls. It is fueling them being discarded, disrespected, not protected, and being assaulted sexually. And it's a huge problem, and y'all need to wake up and pick up on this. The other issues, right, in the video, not because, like I said, it goes more than just the prostitution and stuff like this. There is a race part that plays into it. Now, like I said, it's a brothel, right, with harlots in a room. All those women were black women. Now, this white woman comes into the brothel, but she's not in a room as one that could be bought to play with as a sex toy for the moment, right? She's not reducing herself as just what's in between her legs. She's up, she's walking around as if being the boss, the pioneer of this whole establishment, a madam. The same way that her mother is one, because her mom was a hoe that aged out, birthed her own hoes, then became a pimp. Go watch my Kris Jenner video. But anyway, so she's being presented as a madam, right? So now it's still showing as black women are less than, not the ones to be respected, just these sexual beings, because you open up these rooms and they're just selling sex. That's what they're reduced to. But this white woman, no, that's the one you're going to pay respect to. That's the one who's actually making the money off of these other women. Then you have Cardi B, a Latino. This is her son, and she the one who showcased, what's that girl named Kylie Jenner in that position. So the message that she's sending to Latino little girls is still that there's this hierarchy and that Latino women should bow and come behind this white woman. But then we have Meg Thee Stallion, who's coming in third because she's a feature on this, but the one who is needed, right? So we have still black women being presented as being at the bottom, but being number one, the most important, the most needed, the one who is actually has the most value, but being treated as and diminished as having the least value, because Meg Thee Stallion is who Kylie and Cardi B need and suck their energy and suck their aesthetics and stuff from. It's the Meg Thee Stallion who carried the goddamn song. Actually has the real talent. Actually is a beautiful young woman who, unlike Cardi B and Kylie Jenner, has more to offer than just what's between her damn legs, just like those other black women that was in that room. But they're profiting off her and boosting themselves up above her, but need her at the same time. And I know y'all might be, why do we gotta bring race into this, or how did you get all that from that? But it's there. That's there. Your subconscious is picking that up, whether you are consciously acknowledging or not. And just like these little girls are also picking that up subconsciously, whether they realize it or not. Subconsciously, that was saying that white woman is at the top, that other women, minorities, should bow to her, and then through colorism, that Cardi B will be next in line, and that Meg is who they're both standing on to get where they are at, and don't deserve it. You have nothing to add, nothing of value to give. So that video was just horrible, tragic, trash, and it's sad because these women in these positions of power, celebrities, they are getting paid to poison the minds of the youth, paid to, just like the men, you're being paid to poison the mind of the male youth. And it's always been a problem. Before, music stemmed off from uplifting, and black music was to uplift. It was to share shared experiences with one another through melody, to send encouragement,